Argentina and Israel scheduled a friendly football match. Many hoped for an exciting game, but the players never made it onto the pitch. That's after the head of the Palestinian Football Association, Jibril Rajoub, warned that if the match took place, Israel would use it as a political tool. He then called on fans to target the Argentine team and burn the shirt of Lionel Messi. The warning forced Argentina to cancel, and FIFA suspended Rajoub from attending matches for a year. So was this a legitimate political protest, or, as FIFA says, a way of inciting hatred and violence? Well, to discuss this, I'm joined by Daoud Kuttab in Amman. He's a journalist and columnist for Al Monitor. And in Tel Aviv, we have Uzi Dann. He's a sports journalist at Haaretz. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Daoud Kuttab, was he inciting hatred? The Argentines said that they were afraid. They felt attacked and targeted, and that's why they cancelled. So, was it the right decision by FIFA?
Well, the decision is a correct decision if it was done regularly, if it's consistently, FIFA honors its rules on all issues, including the settlement clubs that are in the occupied territories where the Israeli FIFA plays in illegally in West Bank areas, then it would make sense. But unfortunately, FIFA carries out its rules in a cherry-picking way. They choose whatever they want. And what happened with Argentina and Israel was that the game was supposed to be played in Haifa. The Palestinians were not against the game in Haifa. But 2 weeks after Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem, the Israelis decided to cash in on the politics by moving the game to Teddy Stadium, which is built near the destroyed Palestinian village of Malha. And that angered Palestinians. And you're right, the statements of Rajoub were unfortunate, and he shouldn't have made them.
Okay, so Uzi Dann, Miri Regev's decision to move the game to Teddy Stadium, was that at the heart of all of this, and was that incitement?
Well, it was not the heart, but it was a foolish decision by Minister Regev, because Argentina did play in Jerusalem 20 years ago. Teddy Stadium hosted Spain for and other big teams for official games. Ms. Regev made a mistake by the linkage she made with the 70th anniversary of the State of Israel, making this friendly game part of the celebrations. So I agree with Mr. Daoud on that issue. But Jibril Rajoub is the one that connect politics and sport, and he called for violence. To burn and to demonstrate against Messi or Argentina is not legitimate. And Mr. Daoud talked about FIFA decisions or not deciding about the Israeli teams in the settlements. This is an issue that, Jibril Rajoub is one of the people that is signed or supporting the Oslo agreements, where it's written that many subjects, including, of course, what will be with these territories, will be decided between the Israel and the Palestinians. There is the problem with Mr. Rajoub that he's trying to put everything in football into politics, which is something that FIFA and the other international sport foundation should not agree upon. Israeli athletes, Israeli teams never boycott any Arab, any Muslim athletes or teams. The other way around is happening all the time.
Okay, but they don't play them. I mean, the Israelis play within the European system. Obviously, there's 70 years of history, right?
The European system because Asia expelled
There's
Israel
a context to it.
because of the Arab boycott.
And I guess this goes to the heart of my question. What Rajoub didn't happen in a vacuum, right? So let me then ask you, looking at it from another angle, you're saying no politics in sport. You have a movement which is calling for a boycott of Israel, similar to the boycott of apartheid South Africa, where they're saying no normal sport in an abnormal society. You have Rajoub himself in 2015 going to FIFA, pleading with FIFA on behalf of the Palestinian Football Association, saying our players can't travel. Not only can they not travel outside, but they find it difficult to even travel within the West Bank and Gaza, right? Where was FIFA then to come in and say, and I know Sepp Blatter tried to talk to Netanyahu, but nothing really happened. But where was FIFA to say, hey, Israel is clearly politicizing sport? If Palestinian footballs, for whom the Israelis are completely in charge. If Palestinian footballers can't move, surely Israel's playing politics when it comes to sport, Uri?
Israel is playing politics. Israel is not. You can blame Israel for this activity, but you have to understand that, with all due respect, if people support terrorism, if people, some of the people, I'm not saying all Palestinians, I'm not saying all athletes, I'm not saying all football players. Many people want peace on both sides, and there are fanatics on the Israeli side too. But when Jibril Rajoub and the Palestinian Football Association is using the freedom of movement to support terrorism, it's a problem. Now, how? Well, by letting people, if someone was charged with a terrorism act and he is now a player and he wants to move, well, I want to check him if he's. I'm not saying don't move, don't play. And I must say that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which I'm not a supporter of him, did met with Blatter in 2015, and there was some of the problems were solved. Now, you cannot blame Israel for wanting their security, saying it's politics, when Jibril Rajoub is waving the flags in every FIFA Congress of his political ambitions inside the Palestinian authorities, and connecting football and sport altogether with politics.
Daoud, you satisfied by any of that?
Well, I think let's start with the first part of what he said. He said that the Israeli settlements, the clubs there, they should wait until there is a settlement. Well, we've been 50 years and no settlement has happened, and the FIFA by rules are very clear. Any league can only play in another country's league with permission. So if the Israelis want to play in the settlements, they need to ask permission. The Palestinian state can say yes, or they can say no. That's the rule. So if you want to go by the rules, you have to go by the rules. Now, yes, politics is politics, and Israelis and Palestinians.
This team are playing for dozens of years. Suddenly in 2015, Mr. Rajoub suddenly discovered this team. No, it was a political act by Mr. Rajoub because of his political ambitions inside the Palestinian
authority. If somebody's
a
murderer, if there's somebody who's a murderer and you discover after 10 years, there's no, you could, anytime if you find somebody made a mistake, you're allowed to do it. They can ask permission of the Palestinians to play in the Palestinian area. Once they don't want to recognize that the West Bank is part of the state of Palestine or under the Palestinian Football Federation. Once they recognize that, then the problem would be resolved. They don't want to recognize the Palestinian area, and yet they want to say this is not politics. Everything is politics in our region. Sorry.
Okay, if everything is, you know what? I agree with you, Mr. Daoud. And maybe this the problems with the teams in the West Bank, it is a problem, I agree. But this does not connect to the call of Mr. Rajoub for violence, for burning flags, for demonstration. He was punished for this.
I said that it was wrong. I said it was wrong for Jibril Rajoub to say that. I said that. I agree. So two wrongs don't make one right. Rajoub is wrong, and the Israeli clubs playing in the settlements are wrong.
Okay.
Maybe we should talk together. We can sign the peace agreement within a few hours.
Okay, so Daoud.
Yeah, play in Jordan maybe.
Wrap us up here, Daoud. What's this going to do symbolically or otherwise for the political side of this, and also just for the aspirations of Palestinian football?
Well, I think the Palestinian football team federation is doing very well. In fact, they're doing better than the Israeli league as far as the rankings are concerned. They did very well in the tour right now, and they're trying very hard. There was a number of football players who were shot at Gaza by the snipers of the Israelis. But let's put that aside for now. I think we need a political solution. We need a solution that allows everybody to live in their own country, in their own lands, and to have freedom to play sports and to have fun. So sports has to be something that is equal to everybody, and no one side should have the rules on his side. It has to be the rules equality on all sides.
Daoud, Kuttab and Uzi Dann, I'm out of time. But I thank you both for joining us on the Newsmakers.